Well, is your organization a very insecure organization? The top companies face this crisis all the time. And so are these upcoming companies which are facing the crisis all the time. What does an insecure organization means? An insecure organization means it finds a threat of enhanced capability. It's going through a threat of enhanced growth. It is experiencing a threat because there is lack of innovation. When there is lack of innovation in your approach in your organization, be assured of one thing that's going to happen. Be absolutely assured about one thing that is going to happen. Your organization is going to be outdated. Pager was a very powerful innovation. That particular time they didn't reinvent, they become outdated. You had this tape recorders, this tape recorders before the CD players had come. The tape recorders have become outdated. The CD has become outdated. So you need to constantly innovate and create a ecosystem where there is an active innovation that is happening in your organization. If you are an organization which is against innovation, then you're coming to die. You're absolutely coming to die. This is just like human life. This is exactly like any other life in the planet. An organization must be that which is coming to disrupt its own self. So install these 3 key factors in your organization immediately. And what are these 3 key factors that you need to enable immediately? 1, have people in your organization who are not going to be insecure with each other. Create this factor where people are finding themselves actively engaged in supporting one another. And how do you do that? You do that with these kinds of training programs, by engaging people to come together and feel good about themselves, creating an atmosphere where people are constantly looking at improving their life and feel associated with the job that they're doing. When you have an organization where people are coming in the morning and thinking, what time should I go out? Then you are creating an organization where people are interested in going out. You have created an organization where people are more interested in going out than staying in your organization. So ask yourself and have the guts. You're CEOs of the organization, so you have the power to talk to your next layer and your next layer and your next layer. Ask the human resource team to ask the people whom they are representing. How do they feel in the organization? What kind of system and process is required right now to ensure that the people feel extremely motivated in their jobs? Are you addressing their emotional needs? Because they're human beings, they're not goddamn robots. What is the kind of a crisis management situation you have in place where people are feeling motivated? This is one very important factor that you need to infuse. And the next most important factor that you need to define is, as a person who is running your organization, how associated you are to the vision of your company. How associated you are and how associated do you stand by the values of your company. The greatest organizations in the world, I feel the greatest organization is yet to be built. Yes, the greatest organization is yet to be built, because a greatest organization is one such organization where once people get in, they don't want to get out. Where they get in, that organization is going through a series of innovation and it's very difficult to beat it. Today, in Hindi there is a saying called Andheri Nagare Chopat Raja, In a kingdom which is completely blind, the man who has a vision, who has an eye, I wouldn't say it is a vision also, who has an eyesight, is the king. He need not have even a vision. He even need not have a very short-sighted vision for, the growth. He just needs to have an eye that can see. In a kingdom of blind people, that person is a king. This is exactly what is happening if you largely look at the organizations today. You have 2G coming, then 3G coming, 4G coming. I mean, you are not anticipating the future in a very, very powerful way. You're not having a workforce where people just want to stay there and, just enjoy the work. The organizations have failed to create systems and process, systems and structures, an innovation lab in their organization where the scientific research team in their organization is feeling extremely charged and vibrant. This is very, very ridiculous. This needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then you are going to go in this mode where there are blind people and a few people who can see are going to rule. Any number of innovations which are majestic have not come out. If you ask a visionary what it means to live in a society where you just swap your fingers and you're able to see what you want to communicate, there is a neural interface that is happening. When are we going to enjoy this kind of a system where there's going to be high level of development? So I am requesting all the powerful people who are present over here. You're all very capable in many which ways. And you come the next layer of this so-called top people, which I don't consider them to be the top because there is complete lack of innovation today across the world and across the globe. And because there's nobody to ask, people take what is given at that given point in time. So, infuse these factors in your organization. And the next most thing I want you to understand is this. Understand your company goes through 3 stages. Every company goes through 3 stages. The stage of creation, the stage where they are sustaining, and a stage will come of destruction. If you do this by yourself, you have a process to recreate your next stage, sustain the next stage, and eventually destroy. And innovation essentially means you're destroying that which is existing. Look at the phones which come with different models. Today, if you're using an iPhone 4 model series, using an iPhone 5 or 5 Plus, it looks outdated. You go to this Apple iStore today and ask for iPhone I or 5 or 5 Plus, you're not going to find them. Because they have destroyed what they have created. Destroying what you have created and making what you have created look outdated is innovation. Get this point very clearly. So, if you have an organization which has a very strong foundation of creating things, sustaining it, and then destroying it, you need to define to what extent you want to sustain it. Whatever product you're launching in your organization, what is the length and role of those organizations, means those products? To what length do you like to stretch it? To what extent would you like to stretch it? Is something that you got to ask yourself. What is the period that you would like to give to stretch that particular product? And when would you like to create a very, very powerful, innovative product which will destroy the existing model? You need to understand that iPhone 5 and 5S were not taken away from the market just like that. People did not. There was a demand which was brought down because the demand of their innovated product that came 6 and 6 Plus, 6S Plus, which launched subsequently, created a more powerful means. And today, there is X Plus, X Plus Pro, and they're launching another powerful X10 today. So many things are coming up. So, innovation essentially means you have the capacity to destroy what you have created consciously with a better version. So create this in a very conscious way in your organization, which is going to be largely useful. And I want you to think about all that I have said right now, and to what extent does it apply in your organization. What would you like to create in your organization, or what are you creating in your organization? When are you, till what, to how much time, what is the time period that you would like to keep to sustain what you have created? That is, to what extent you want to keep it open in the market so that sales happens? And when are you going to take the time to destroy what you have created and launch something more, like the creation, sustenance and destruction? This cycle, this amazing cycle, is what is going to keep your organization in the picture and relevant. Take a moment and observe.